Hi everyone, I'm Ames Hawkins, the Associate Provost for Faculty Research and Development, and I'm here today to share with you one of my favorite recipes. It's a really easy recipe for black bean soup. This recipe actually comes from a friend of mine, Barbara Schneider, who used to write for the Detroit Free Press back in the 90s, and so I always refer to it as Barbara's black bean soup recipe. I also think of it as a canna recipe, so it's a very easy recipe for all folks to make. And another bonus is it is vegan and also satisfying to all kinds of your meat lovers as well, so to speak. If you use vegetable broth, vegan, vegetarian, and if you have chicken broth, that can be a substitute as well. Alright, so before I get going, I just want to show you what the ingredients are. Again, very simple. 3 cans of black beans, if you can get your hands on them. Actually, it seems that if you get it to Trader Joe's at like right when they open, not a problem. They get shipments of food every night. A 28 ounce can of tomatoes. The only one we happen to have right now, I would usually use diced or something, but we have these San Marzanos on hand, so I'm going to use those in our soup today. A box of broth. Again, this could be vegetable broth, it could be chicken broth, either one works well. And as far as our vegetables go, either 2 wee onions or 1 larger onion, a Pablano, and a jalapeno. You can also make it a little more pepper forward if that's your jam. The cilantro in my house is looking a little weak right now, and we didn't feel like going out today, but usually I'd have a larger bunch of this, maybe double the amount, but I'm going to add this in because that'll be just fine. And then as far as spices go, what I've got going on here is this is about a heaping teaspoon of adobo, a heaping teaspoon of chili powder, and a teaspoon and a half of cumin. And what I wanted to do here, I'm going to set this to the side, is kind of do a little bit with knife skills. If you're already great with your knife skills, then you can move forward, but I wanted to show you a few tricks in how to cut onions and peppers. So the first thing you want to do is orient yourself to your onion, right? Take a look at the difference between the end that would have been the roots and the end that would have been the green leafy part coming up out of the ground. First thing I do is cut a little bit, just the end off that would have been the leafy part, okay? Pull this aside a little bit. Place that flat on the surface and then cut as directly into the center of the root as you can, cutting the bulb in half. Now this makes it a little easier for you to get that onion skin off. Should peel off pretty easily in one piece like that. Pulling it down. Whoop. Get that out of the way. And then this is really a good way to, you can either do slices or dices. So if you're doing dices, you hold your onion in your claw so you don't cut off your fingertips, and you cut through the middle a bit. 1 or 2, this is a pretty small onion, but usually I get 2 or 3 cuts in there. Cut through on the, the horizontal plane, and then come down vertically through the top of the onion, if you can see that. 3 or 4 or 5 pieces. And then what we can do is just quickly, and we've got a diced onion. Quick as that. Quick and easy. What I try to do here, I'm going to use the larger pepper first, the Pablano, is I hold the stem part and cut down along the side to try to not hit at the seeds, right? And then we can see where that middle seed pod is and quietly and easily cut the center from the middle. Cut these seeds, boop, and then we can just ditch them right away. Now, dicing of the pepper, pretty simple, easy. This is, this will be what teaches me not to touch my face, is cutting up these poblanos. This one's a nice little spicy one. Just doing strips like this so. Get all the strips ready. One more, boom, and then flush them all together here. Create a nice little log. Make your claw so you don't hit your fingertips. Boom. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nothing pretty, just moving through the pepper as fast as you want to go. Okay. And then our pepper can join our onion over here in the bowl. Last but not least, same thing can be done with a jalapeno. Usually has a much larger internal center there, or at least with proportion to the outside. So I just take a little bit off, but I can also pull it away just the same so that we don't have to deal, oops, I might have cut it into that one, but as few as possible of those seeds to try to free that all in one piece, making it as easy as we can. Boop, there we go. Sound effects. Same thing, just on a smaller scale. And then chopped up. And that's the cutting of an onion and a pepper. We'll cut that for now. I almost forgot garlic. So I wanted to show you, if you aren't aware of this tool, it's one of the coolest little tools because you can struggle with the skins, getting them off. Just put it in the middle. I don't even know what's a garlic skinner. And then boom, look it's all ready to go. All right, so now we've prepared most of our ingredients. I don't need the skin. And it's time to get the soup rocking. So I front burner. I guess that's about a medium flame, right? Nice gas there. And I get my olive oil. I suppose it's going to be somewhere around, I don't know, a couple teaspoons or so. Enough to sort of get the bottom covered. Heat it up enough. Doesn't have to be super hot, but I do want to cover the bottom with a little thin layer to prevent sticking. Get myself a spoon. And then there are people who think it's like super important to separate and start with onions and peppers and garlic, and I've never really cared, and no one has ever told me my stuff isn't all that great. There are some recipes it's very important to do, but not for this one, that's for sure. So once I feel like it's a little bit hot, get those going. This is both peppers, the onions, and the garlic all at once. I'm just gonna cook these for about 4 or 5 minutes and get them nice and soft. Well, I guess that's actually more like about 3 minutes to sort of have the peppers be really bright, the onions starting to look translucent, things breaking down. We have the juices from the onion and the pepper along with the oil making a nice blend here. That's looking good to me. Then, as is done often with Indian food, I like to sometimes add the spices at this point. So again, that was adobo, cumin, and some chili powder. You can also use, if you happen to have adobo powder, actual just adobo powder, not chili powder. I'm just using what I have today. Whatever makes sense works. I think of cooking as an art, not necessarily a science. Baking is a science to me. And I don't do much baking because that requires a different kind of precision. Then I just let those spices open up a little bit in that oil and in those juices, baking onto those vegetables for I don't know, I guess a minute or so, not very long, before adding the rest of our ingredients. Oh, smells pretty good. Alright, so first thing you want to do probably is add the broth of choice. Alright, 1 box of whatever broth you'd like. Again, please use vegetable if that pleases you more. Great. And then we're gonna add the beans. Now I rinsed all 3 cans of beans first. Some people, I don't know if everyone knows to do that, but that's what you do so you don't have that goopy sort of jelly stuff going in. Add those. Give it a stir here. All right. And then when I open the can of tomatoes, it's got like a tomato saucy thing going on because I would usually use a large can of diced tomatoes or fire roasted tomatoes. Don't have them. Again, not going to go out special for that ingredient right now. This will be just fine, I'm sure. But what I want to do is pull those tomatoes out of the sauce, lay them in, and then make a determination whether, usually I would just pour this whole thing in together, but I'm not so sure I want to do that with this particular can. I use this sauce for something else later this week. It looks more like spaghetti sauce to me, and I just want the tomatoes. So, these are whole, and that is okay because the final step for this soup will be to run it through a food processor or something of the sort, okay, in order to blend all these ingredients together. So we've got the tomatoes, we've got all of our ingredients in here. One last ingredient I want to toss, whatever we have of the cilantro, and again you can cut it up stems and all. I usually do use about twice that much, but it'll work for today. Oops. And we just sit and let that, I'll stir it, and we sit and wait for it to come to a boil. All right, so our pot's boiling at this point. I think it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. I give it a little stir and then turn it down to maybe a simmer-ish. Oh, that's hot. Like that, down to low, and let it just cook for only about 15 minutes is necessary. All those ingredients were already cooked. We're just trying to infuse the flavors into all of the different vegetables. All right, we're back. Okay, so this has been cooking for actually a little bit longer than 15 minutes because I had some email to attend to, but that gives it a chance to kind of thicken a little bit and get all those spices. It gets a little more murky, which is great. So now the last step here of the process is blending. You can do this in a blender, in a food processor, or I use my handy Cuisinart Smart Stick. I've had this for probably close to 20 years now. All right, so we just kind of there we go, and done. That isn't absolutely necessary. It can be, served just like a bean soup, but I really, really like the way that blending makes a nice smooth soup. And let's see here. We'll do a taster. Tastes pretty darn good. All right, so then the final way we'd serve is pour it into a bowl, and there's a range of condiments and toppings we can use. You can do avocado, lime, more cilantro, fresh cilantro, grated cheese, either cheddar or Monterey Jack, scallion, chopped tomato, sour cream. I think that about covers what we usually use. And of course, pick and choose depending on if you want it to be vegetarian or vegan option. All right, I think that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoy and have a great day.